Welcome back to the show. I am so excited to have one of my dearest friends on today's show. She has really propelled and helped me understand Facebook ads more than anybody else. She has mentored me in Facebook ads. I'm in one of her programs now for Facebook ads. So welcome to the show, Kelly Sturtevant. I screwed it up. Sturtevant.
You're fine.
So much pressure to get a name right.
Always, right?
So tell my audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Awesome. First off, thanks for having me. My name is Kelly Sturtevant. I'm a Facebook ad strategist. And one of my superpowers is helping business owners learn and understand how Facebook ads work and how they can use them to grow their business to their wildest dreams.
I love that. That's a good intro. So how did you get into Facebook ads? Because you started in a similar program that I started in, and typically we think we're going to be social media managers. And so what happened to evolve into Facebook ads?
For sure. I think a lot of us got into that and we're like, wait a minute, I don't have to do it all, do I? No, that's not the case. I started my business about 5 years ago. I actually started as a virtual assistant. So I was looking for a way to stay home with my kids since they were, back in school full time. And I really did not want to be back in corporate and, over glorified paper pushers. Yeah. So I decided it was time to find something I could do from home, and found online, all of the wonderful things out there that tell you could do from the comforts of your living room. I realized very quickly I was not meant for data entry. I was not meant for blog writing, and I was certainly not meant for being an over-glorified paper pusher online. So I started transitioning to social media management, which I found through Rachel Peterson, and joined her monthly program, and then eventually ascended her lovely value ladder. And along the journey, I realized I love social media in terms of what it can do for business. I absolutely hated managing someone else's social presence. So very quickly decided that was not the spot for me to be in. But I really loved paid marketing. I really loved seeing how Facebook ads worked for business. I loved getting, all of the ads in my newsfeed and just seeing how things worked, or what didn't work, what caught my attention, and really just started to find, when I talked about it, it lit me up, and started transitioning fully into ads. And I've been doing ads fully for almost 3 years now. And I love, it was one of my favorite things to do for businesses. So I love that I understand how organic works and how it can help in terms of what you can do with ads, but man, did I hate running it for other people.
I love that you said that you love the paid side, because I think a lot of times as business owners in the organic space, like honestly, and it may be easier now with short form video, but unless you go viral, it's going to take time to really get out of your circle and get out of your friends and get away from, outside of that normal circle and network that you would normally have. And like paid ads kind of give you an advantage to that too.
Yeah, they do. And I think we've seen transitions over the years where the platforms are definitely a pay to play type of platform. That, make no mistake, like organic growth is great, but you can do a lot better and a lot faster when you can put some money behind it. Whether that is as simple as boosting a Instagram post or a Facebook post, or whether you have a well thought out, ad plan and strategy behind it. I still love organic, and like I said, organic can really just give you the framework in terms of business growth, and it helps with your ads. But ultimately, all businesses get to a point where if they want to grow, they have to be willing to invest into paid marketing of some sort.
Absolutely. So we have a lot of people listening that maybe haven't even tried even to boost a post. So, and I think a lot of times there's this, they don't have an idea, like they're thinking thousands of dollars. Like what is like the minimum if somebody wanted to start, let's say, playing around with ads? What would be the minimum they would want to invest?
Why is this question always the one people want to know? How much money do you think I should spend on ads?
Yeah.
I love this question. And at the same time, it's one where I think people get into a lot of trouble with.
Yeah.
I am a firm believer in your budget should be whatever you can willingly and exceptionally lose, knowing you may not see it again. So my adage is, if you were to take that money and go to Las Vegas and throw it all onto the roulette wheel, you know you're likely going to walk away empty-handed. That's what you have to really consider with your budget is, will my business still survive if I throw this money into ads and I get nothing back? If the answer is yes, then what am I comfortably willing to spend knowing that? If the answer is no, I never, ever want to see business owners running ads as a desperation to grow their business, because that is a surefire way it will not work. In terms of budgeting, you can run ads for as little as $5 a day. You can run them for $1 a day if you want. But the truth of the matter is, the more you're willing to put in, the faster the data is going to come back to you. So if I want to run a $5 a day ad to, let's say, a lead magnet to grow my list, an average email can cost you up to $5. So you could be paying $5 a day just to get one person onto your email list. If you're spending $20 a day, then you can see you can get that result a lot faster over time. So regardless of how much you spend, the data is still roughly going to be the same. It's just a matter of your budgeting for it.
Great answer. But I know that's the question that everybody's going to ask. So I had to ask it first. Okay.
Always.
So most people get this message from email, and I don't know if Instagram does it or not, or this notification. This post is doing really well. We suggest you boost it. Yeah. What is your response to something like that?
I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook with those. So those messages are called boosts. And what it is Facebook is saying, hey, guess what? You can actually reach 800 more people if you put $20 behind this to boost it. Right. The truth of the matter is, and if this has happened to you, this is the one test I will tell you to do, is take a look at what post they're saying is actually performing better than your previous ones, and actually go look at your results. So I did this just recently with one of mine. It said, this specific post is doing 90% better than my last ones. And when I looked at the metrics, no, it wasn't. It wasn't even close to doing that. It was not even on the same level of reach as the previous post. So this is just Facebook's way, or Meta's way, of saying, hey, I think it's time for you to start spending some money with us. And this is the easiest entry point for you to do, because people look at it and say, oh, great, I'll throw $20 into it and everything's great. Boosts do have a place, and I'm not crapping on boosts. Like they can help, right? But they really need to be done when the post has proven to be performing well, and it has a almost like a goal behind it. It's one thing to have a great post out there that's reaching, but if it's not actually serving the business, there really isn't much point in doing it. Like I can have a post go viral that's as basic as, do you drink coffee or tea? That's not going to have any bearing on the growth of my business. So it would make no sense to, boost that. But if I had a post, say, that was a specific value content for my audience that could resonate with them, or if I was driving traffic to a lead magnet or a blog post or anything like that, and it was performing well, then that might be a consideration for testing out 20 or $30 into a boost. But other than that, I believe that when you start to look at paid marketing, you really need to start looking at actual ads and not relying on the boost to do the job for you.
And when you say actual ads, in case anybody listening doesn't know, what does that mean?
So a boost is, in fact, an ad. It's just the simplest form of an ad. It means all it can do is whatever that post is, it's just going to put that out into your audience. So there's no goals, there's no objectives, there's no metrics besides how many people you reach. You can't track page likes or website hits or anything like that. So when it comes to running a real ad, this is run through your business manager in a proper ad account that is set up with your tracking pixels, with your proper payments for the business. And it allows you to do more objectives for your ad. So you can run the same sort of thing as a boost, which is called an engagement post. You can run a page like campaign, which can help you grow your Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
You can send traffic to a blog site, your podcast episodes, to whatever, lead magnet or webinar or whatnot you have. And then you get into things like conversion events, which is your purchases, your registrations, your lead generation. None of these can be done from a boost. They have to be done in the ads manager correctly.
I love that you said that. So you mentioned a pixel.
Mm-hmm.
So can we explain that to anybody that doesn't understand what that is?
For sure. Facebook has what's called the Facebook Pixel. This is a line of code that goes onto your websites or your funnel systems or anything that you want to drive traffic to. The code is a way for Facebook or Meta to track the people who are landing on that page and taking action on it. Now, mid last year, we had the iOS 14 update, which was Apple's privacy update, which has severely impacted the data that the Pixel can track, but it is still a trackable measure. And this allows you to be able to retarget people. You'll be able to see, who's landed on specific pages. And it just gives you a little bit more robust data in terms of what's working or not working in your business.
I love that. Great explanation. So at what point, so you mentioned, we talked about traffic ads, we talked about conversion ads. So when somebody's starting out in an ad, is there one that you would recommend over another? Not just between those two, by the way, anything that maybe you didn't mention too.
Usually when starting out, I always tell business owners, you need to know what your objective is. What is the goal of putting up an ad? Are you trying to list build? Are you trying to just get people to read a blog post? Are you trying to get purchases? Mm-hmm. Once you know what the goal is, then that allows you to determine the best course of action for your ads. So let's say we want to list build. We want to get people onto our email list. We have a lead magnet that we can drive traffic to. We could run two different ads for this. We could run what's called a traffic campaign, which is essentially paying Facebook to drive traffic to that landing page. These are cheap ads to run. Most traffic ads you can get anywhere between really 10 cents and 80 cents on average per click. Yeah. That doesn't necessarily mean you're paying 80 cents to get someone to that page. You're just paying 80 cents to get someone to click the link in your ad. Right. Now, it can help you build pixel data. It can help you get your brand awareness out there. And especially for small budgets, I still enjoy running an occasional traffic ad. I still think they do have a place. Right. But if you really want to know what your cost per lead is, that means the cost to get someone to sign up for your email list, mm-hmm. Then you want to run a conversion campaign. And that's where you need that Facebook pixel set up so that you can track the results of people who have actually landed on your page and opted in to that email. So when they look at your data, you can see, all right, well, I paid, $100 in ad spend and I generated 15 leads or 15 emails from it. Then you have a cost per lead and you know what it's costing you to get people onto your list. And then it helps you to be able to make business decisions going forward. Okay, mm-hmm. Is that cost prohibitive? Is it cost effective? Am I able to build my list, at a $10 or $15 an email? Most people aren't, especially for a free lead magnet. So it can help you to also see, all right, well, maybe there's an audience problem. Maybe we need to figure out a different messaging in the ad. Maybe the landing page needs some work and, people aren't registering for it because they don't know what it is. So the ads really can tell you a lot more than just what your cost per lead is. And that's where it can be really powerful for businesses going forward.
I think one thing that people struggle with, and maybe you can explain this too, is that they don't understand the conversion. Like if I'm giving somebody a free something, why would I not have like at least close to 100% conversion rate because they know it's free and they're going to my site. So will you talk a little bit about that for a second?
Oh my gosh, if everyone could have 100% conversion rate, we would all be millionaires, right? Yeah, we just can't. When it comes to targeting and in your audiences, you have to think when you set up your audiences, you can be targeting, between 1 million and 20 million people, depending on the, the targeting options you've given. And we know that's still a needle in the haystack. So even though, for instance, you and I, we have very similar interests, you'll probably follow a lot of the same people. But if we were being targeted with the same ad, we're not necessarily going to resonate the same way.
Right.
So that's as simplistic as it can be. We're not, just because we're a match in one area doesn't mean we're going to resonate with whatever the offer is in front of us.
Correct.
The goal though with any lead magnet or any page really that you get people to, your conversion rate should be higher than about 50% for free lead magnets. So, and that's information you will find in your actual website or your funnel program will tell you. So if you generated, if you got 1,000 people to your actual landing page and only 300 of them signed up for that free lead magnet, that's my math, 30% conversion. So that is an indication that maybe that landing page actually needs some tweaking, or your audience needs some tweaking. So that's where it really, really comes in handy. And this is just like in terms of base lead generation on lead magnets and stuff. If you're an e-commerce business or you sell physical products, your landing page conversion is between 1% and 3%.
Yeah.
So like it's a massive, massive difference. So in those terms, it's, strategy changes in terms of ads in general, but you then have to look at how do I get that much more people to that product page in order to get 1% to 3% conversion. So you really need to know what your numbers are. And especially for service-based industries where we're generating leads to webinars or lead magnets or free challenges or anything like that, you have to really know what your baseline metrics are so that every time you run it, you can adjust and pivot, make changes, and increase those conversion rates as you go.
I love that. So let's say I'm a new business owner. I just created this lead magnet. Should I go immediately and start running ads to it so I can build up my list super fast?
If you have the money, absolutely. In a perfect world, yeah, we would all love to create a lead magnet and be able to drive traffic to it instantly and see it converting. That's not the case. And for most of us, when we're starting off, we're not dealing with budgets where we have that financial freedom to do. So I firmly believe, in anything, is you have to test it organically first. This means you're testing to your warm audiences. Have you put out emails with this link in it? Have you put it on your blog post? Have you done videos talking about it? Have you sent it to your email list over and over again? Have you done Facebook Lives? Have you done YouTubes? Have you done TikToks? Like whatever you can do organically, to get people to that page to see what your conversion rates are, will help you to determine before you spend a single dime in ads, whether it converts or not. Because there's nothing worse than, you start to run traffic to a post and you're like, well, that was a waste of $500. I didn't get any conversions, or my opt-in rate was 10%. Well, the ads aren't always the issue.
Right.
And by testing your landing pages organically first, you start to fix the problems before you put any ad spend behind it. And that ultimately keeps money in your pocket in the long run.
Like test it for free first.
Everything
you'll have to tweak it once you start running ads to it, but test it for free because there'll be plenty of testing that still can happen after you're putting money behind it.
Yeah, and the thing too is a lot of people will say, well, how do I know if my tests are working, or I don't have an audience a big enough audience for that? Generally speaking, I like to make sure I've had at least bare minimum 100 hits to that page.
Yeah.
So if my metrics in the back end of my software show me I had 100 page views, I would expect to see between 30 and 50 actually convert on that page. And a lot of times with small businesses, they maybe don't have even 100 people, even 1,000 people to be able to direct to that page. So they don't know what their conversion rates really are.
Right.
The thing to keep in mind is whatever traffic you can get there can be the starting of your baseline. So if anything, continue to drive traffic in any fashion you can organically. Keep taking a look at those metrics on a daily basis. And if you find, one day you only had 10 clicks to it, but 3 people converted, okay, guess what? That's a 30% conversion rate, even though a week may show, 200 hits at 10% conversion. So as long as you can continue to just keep an eye on the data and be able to make those adjustments, small audiences or not really built audiences can still get some information going forward to determine if things convert or not.
I love that. That's such a great answer. And I know you get asked that question a lot, so I had to throw it out there. Okay, next question is, when would you suggest somebody run what you and I, and you can explain this too, call a video view ad?
Video view campaigns are one of my favorite to run. And they're really great for anyone who's getting into ads, but they don't quite know what their overarching goals are, or they don't have an objective yet, or they don't have an offer built out yet. Video view, the great thing about video view campaigns is a video on your Facebook page is a trackable audience. So even if you don't throw ad spend behind a video campaign, anyone who has landed on your Facebook page and has started to watch any of your video content, that's an audience you can actually custom build for the future. So when it comes to running ads, when we run a video view campaign, we're now expanding that reach into a cold market, essentially. So anyone who's watched a portion of that video, doesn't matter if they've been on our Facebook page or not, we can target them with another offer later. We can build that custom audience. And they're the cheapest ad to run. A video view, for anyone who has never seen it before, the video view campaign, you can track an audience who's watched 3 seconds of your video. Now, granted, 3 seconds isn't necessarily going to be the best warm audience that we're running to, but it still allows us to target. And we know with the know, like, and trust factor, building up that brand awareness requires more than 8 touch points generally. Yeah. So even 3 seconds is a touch point that someone is going to be able to see. Oh, I've seen this name before. I've seen this brand before. Where have I seen it? I'm not quite sure. But if you can continue to get in front of them for a low cost in a video view, it just allows you to continue that nurture process beyond. And then you're not losing data, down the line, especially as we talked about with the iOS updates, because you're not taking them off site. That video lives in Facebook. Mm-hmm. Facebook owns that data. It's not third-party tracking, it's first-party tracking. So we don't lose anyone who's watched that video, which becomes very powerful as a business owner and an advertiser.
And two, and you can expand on this, I feel like if you don't have a list already, it's a great way to start, because you can almost build your own audience from what's already on Facebook and Instagram, for that matter.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like I said, it's what I do normally with my clients when we have portions of budget for brand awareness is I just run videos in the background. So I don't even, I don't do anything more with them except build an audience. Yeah. And that allows me to continue to bring people in cold and nurture them along the journey, again, for as little as a penny per view that can help me in the long run. And again, it just builds that brand awareness up. And the more someone sees your brand, the more likely they are to convert to a sale or a conversion or whatnot down the line. And that's ultimately the goal of any type of marketing.
It's paid visibility, basically.
Paid visibility, it is.
And I love that, because again, we said this before, we don't always have control over who sees our content. We don't have control even with paid ads, but we can't get outside of our circle or who already follows us if we're just doing organic. So it just gives us that, like, that little edge when we put ad spend behind it. Now, when you run a video view ad, do you often put a link in? Because they have that option when you run through Ads Manager.
It really depends what the content of the video is. So if the video is value-based, and there's no call to action within the video itself, a lot of times I just leave it as a video. And the great thing about that, especially when it lands in your news feed, is when there's not an ask, people relate it to an organic post. So they don't automatically resonate with, your name and sponsored in the corner. They just think, oh, well, that's a video from Chrissy. I've seen a million of her videos pop up. It's normal organic traffic. So it kind of has that ability to just play with the mind a little bit and think, okay, well, this isn't an ad. When there is a call to action in the video, and again, there's nothing wrong with doing that. If there is a call to action, then yeah, I will at times put the link in the body of the ad. The key to keep in mind with those is the goal of the ad is not the click.
Yeah.
The goal of the ad is to get people to watch the video. So when you pick that objective, you have to really keep that in your mind. Is I can't look at my metrics and think, oh, well, I only got 3 link clicks from this video. Well, that wasn't the goal. So Facebook's not tracking that for you. They're tracking how many people are watching the video. If you want to use the video for a traffic ad, then you would have a link and you would have, you can drive traffic to there. So it really does come down to what the goal is of the video itself, whether it's brand awareness, whether it's value-based, whether it is an offer. And then just keeping it in the back of your head. The goal of the ad is a video view. I don't want to necessarily muddle the waters and give them multiple calls to action.
Right.
That's going to skew them watching that video to begin with.
Absolutely. So you have ran ads from $5 a day to what a day for other?
Over 1,000 a day.
Okay. So this is a question that comes up a lot with visibility and getting people on video. Well, I need somebody to edit my video. I need somebody to produce my video. I need professional photos. What do you say to somebody who wants to run ads and like, well, I can't do it yet because I need a videographer, I need editing, I need all these things popping out, or I need professional photos where I'm sitting there and looking poised and professional? Like, what if they feel like that's the only things they can use in a Facebook ad scenario?
I usually tell my clients when they tell me they can't give content, as I say, go look at your newsfeed. Spend a few minutes just browsing through all of the ads that are popping up in your newsfeed and tell me how many of those are professionally done, perfectly crafted, beautifully edited in your niche type of ad. Majority will come back and say, well, some of them have, a graphic or whatnot.
Yeah.
But most are regular, real type of people. And we've seen the shift in organic social. I mean, we've watched as Instagram has kind of imploded on themselves in a way where they used to be very aesthetically pleasing, very professionally, very, everyone's grids looked gorgeous and immaculate. All of a sudden in a year, we've seen a shift to no one gives a flying F about the grid. It's the content that is in your newsfeed. I don't know about you. When I browse Instagram, I'm going through the newsfeed. I'm not going to someone's profile and scrolling through their content.
Is it pretty or is it not pretty? This tells me whether or not I'm going to work with you. No, we don't look at that.
No. And your ads are the same way. People are open to, like, we've seen a shift in society in general. People are not falling for the bro marketing life, the Lamborghinis and fancy houses and perfectly polished pools and all this. People don't fall for that, and they don't fall for professionally done imagery when it's used all the time. We're real people.
Yeah.
And people buy from people. They don't buy from brands. Now, if you're Coca-Cola, obviously you have millions of dollars to spend on marketing. That's a completely different story. But for the average small business owner, you are the face of your brand. You are the one selling. And people need to know who you are. And if you continue to show up with your fabulous mansion in the background and your hair is all coiffed and perfect, you've already set a standard for people that you are hands off. Like, I'm above you in a sense.
Not really.
That's my feeling,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I even say this in organic side of things, the more overproduced you are, the more salesy you seem. Like they're
Yes.
like, what do you want from me? Right.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, they're just trying to give me some value. It's like, oh, you want me to buy something from you because you spent a lot of
Exactly.
money on this ad or you spent a lot of money on this video. So my guard is immediately up. And
Exactly.
that's what I see.
One of my best performing ads that I had for a client was a selfie she had done with her hair in rollers. And I asked her permission first because, you know, some people are like that. Thank God she's a great client. She's like, no, you use whatever you can. Anything in this folder is yours. And I used that picture of her with her hair in rollers and a coffee cup in hand. And it was one of our best performing ads because it did two things. One, it stopped the scroll. People were like, what is this? And two, it was different than anything else in her industry. No one had done that. No one shows up in rollers. Like, are you kidding me? Your face is not perfectly coiffed and polished and all that. You stand out more when you show up as your true authentic self. And I know this is something you preach quite a bit. It's something I preach, you know, in terms of business and for my clients as well, is people buy from people, they don't buy from brands.
Yeah.
So you need to make that personal shift, and you have to put on your big girl pants. Like, you're an adult, get out there. And if you want your business to grow and succeed, then stop making the excuses that you don't have professional pictures, you don't have professional video, you have a cell phone, you have both a camera and a video maker. That's all you need. 100%.
It's to go too. It goes with you everywhere. We're never away from them. So one of the things I want to talk about really quick, because I'm a member, is especially if you have questions like I just asked Kelly, or if you have additional questions, or maybe you've played around with ads and you're like, I feel like I could do so much better, is her advisor membership. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
For sure. My Pocket Advisor membership is a membership for small business owners or social media managers who are running ads for their business or for their clients, and they have the gist of it down, but they need ongoing support. I love doing one-on-one consultations, but my one-on-one consultations are pricey. And a lot of times people don't need an hour of time. They just need 5 or 10 minutes. Like, I just need to check this is okay. And this is where you get to do that in my community. We have a safe place that I like to definitely refer to as no bro marketers allowed, or in my business, because I know business owners over the years have been hit with this type of mentality that you're an idiot if you don't know this, or how dare you not know this. We're all beginners when we start, and a lot of people forget this is a big skill. Like, it's taken me, 3+ years to get to a point where I am now running ads. And even still, I'm learning on a constant basis. So if this isn't your full-time job, you can't expect to go from 0 to 100% successful without guidance and support with you. And I really found that there was this missing in the community where people offer courses, they offer, products, they offer templates and spreadsheets and all these kind of things, but no one offers real-time support, a place where you can go and ask questions with an ad specialist and get an actual real-time answer. And it's not, well, you're an idiot for not knowing this.
Well, and I even feel afraid. I'm afraid to ask in those big groups of
yeah, me too.
I've been running ads for like 2 years, but I probably don't know something. So I don't know if I want to ask, or I'm not going to ask it I'm not going to say it in the words that they say it in. So I'm afraid to.
Yeah. I've had a number myself where same thing, like you have this moment of dread. You're like, oh, I can't believe I have to ask this. And it's a simple question, or, you just don't know. But the comments that come back are I've seen it time and time again. How dare you not know this? Like, how are you running ads that you don't know X, Y, Z? And I know even for myself as a professional that, we all need help. And I hate this mentality that comes from these bro marketers that you have to know everything instantly, and it's just not possible. So I really, really want to be able to show up and support small businesses who are often overlooked in these communities because they're not running $1,000 budgets. They're not, they don't have multiple products, or they don't have multi-million dollars in their back pocket. They just have their, $200 or $300 or $400 budget that they're trying to grow with, and they need the support to help them. And they just can't invest in hiring someone to handle that yet, or they can't hire, someone's hourly rate in order to help this. This gives you the place to do it on the time that you need it, with a very supportive community behind you. And it's one of my biggest goals is to continue to grow this, to help support all of those business owners who really do need that support ethically and professionally, and not made to feel like they're not worth it. So
yeah. And I love it for two reasons. Number one, I love it when I have questions about my own ads, because I'm too close, right? We're too close to our own ads. So if you're a business owner running your own ads, you're a little too close to it. So you need to ask questions. You need to ask, or you get to ask questions actually in this platform. And then when ad costs go up for all my clients, the first question I have is this me? Is this a me issue, or is this an everybody issue? And so it's nice to be able to put it in this community, and everybody's like, yeah, my ad costs are going up too. I'm seeing it too. We're seeing those go up. So just knowing that you're not alone sometimes, and that it is happening across the board, just makes you feel better, right? Because you have this collective community who is saying the same thing, and they're seeing the same things too. So it just, yes, Kelly is the main resource, but when you have a community like that of, some people running e-commerce, some people running lead magnets, some people doing, everybody's doing something different, to have that collective come in and say, yeah, we're seeing this too. It just is like peace, like, oh, it's happening for everybody, not just for me.
Yeah, I'm not crazy. I know this is happening.
Right. Exactly. And we will drop in the show notes, like how you can find out more about the Pocket Advisor, because it is, I 1,000% recommend it. I used to call Kelly or message Kelly, but can I have the link? Can I have the link? Can I have the link? And I would go pay and get on a call with her and just go over like what I was struggling with, or what we were having problems with my clients' ads. So this was like a no-brainer for me, because it was just an easy yes, because the support is always there. It's real time. She does a call. I always have stuff on Mondays, but is it it's once a month?
Once a month currently. Yeah. We do real-time coaching calls, and this is an opportunity for you to come in with your ads that you're running, and we actually go into your ad manager. We go through the dive and into your metrics, and we bring up your ads and what the copy and the creative and your audiences, and we kind of help you figure out where the leaks are, where are the things that need improving. And I don't know anyone in any other community that offers that, which is, but you need to know what your ads are actually showing you.
Yeah, I love that. So the question I ask everyone, and I'm going to ask you, is what has visibility done for your business?
Oh my gosh. I was, 3 years ago, just starting out my business. I didn't want to be the face of my business. I was like, no one needs to see this. They don't, I'm not XYZ in the world of, beauty and aesthetics and all that kind of thing. Why would anyone care? And it took a long, hard look, not only in the mirror, but it took a really hard look at my business. And I thought, I can't grow my business unless I'm showing up. Mm-hmm. And as much as, I think a lot of us women get into these traps of, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough, I don't have beautifully crafted images and videos and all that. I realized that there were more people like me out there that needed someone like me to stand up and be able to speak to them and for them. And that really made a shift mentally. And to be honest, TikTok was one of the platforms that did it for me. Mm-hmm. I hate Facebook Live. I hate Instagram Live. I love TikTok. And that for me was a platform that I could really be myself on and really show up. And for those that have ever been on TikTok and over the the last couple of years that it's really blown, there is both positive and negative sides to the platform. I've been very fortunate that I have not experienced negativity on my platform. In fact, I think one of the worst troll comments I got was someone like my fingernails. So it was very easy to build my platform and to become visible in my business safely, and to have an audience that follows me, that appreciates my message, appreciates who I am, keeping it real and all that kind of thing. And that platform alone has allowed me to grow to where I am today. And I would not be the business owner I am without it, 100%.
And more than views and followers, you have also gotten leads from TikTok.
Yeah. And for those that think, especially service-based industries, if you think, oh, well, my clients are not on the platform. Yes, they are. Yes, they are, because they're scrolling with their children at night too. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I've had not only numerous leads come in for, my small products or my consultations or anything like that. I've had several 7- and 8-figure business owners reach out to me because of my TikToks. And I had one client who I had never had any contact with, had a call with me, and they said on the call, I've been following you for 6 months on TikTok. I love your content. I love what you're messaging. And it was a no-brainer. Like, they didn't even ask for a proposal. They just said, send the invoice. So it's, it's been wild, really, the way that platform has helped grow. And I think you talk about it in your stuff in your community, it's building that parasocial relationship. And you become a celebrity in a sense. Like, your face becomes a recognition. So now when I show up on podcast episodes, or I'm doing trainings with other people, or I've had a couple of times where I've done live trainings and people will pop in, they're like, oh my God, I've been following you forever. Those are the reasons why visibility is so important, and it's the way I grow. And I know on the days and the weeks where I fall off, it takes a long time for me to build that back up.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's true. It just goes back to somebody's always watching, and you never know who is watching. They may not always give you instant gratification of comment, a like, but they're scrolling and they're seeing your content over and over and over. And all they have to do is watch it, right? And they keep seeing you back in their feed, whether they follow, like, or anything like that. The algorithm is regurgitating and your content to them. So I think that's important to note too, that, get visible.
Yes, absolutely.
And stop letting excuses stop you. So I don't know if I think I've told Kelly this before. I used to get so mad that she was not on video, because I was like, she's amazing. Like, people need to see how brilliant she is. It makes me so mad she's not on video. And I even used to be the person who said it has to be live video, and it clearly doesn't have to be live video. We can do visibility in our own way, and TikTok works, Reels works, live video works, YouTube works. Like, it's whatever feels good to you. Start there, and then you'll build the confidence to do other things. Do you do TikTok lives?
I have. In fact, that's one of the only platforms I do lives on. And again, like, I just find it's more laid back. And because with TikTok, you kind of get, you get it on all, but you get that real-time feedback, instantly with the video. It just feels more close to me than when I'm doing a Facebook. And maybe that's, the distance between my camera and my phone, or, that feeling or whatnot. I fully believe in being consistent on whatever platform lights you up. And for me, TikTok was it. And then that allowed me to be able to take that content and use it on other platforms to help grow from there. So now I can show up everywhere as I build that out. But that's my base, is TikTok. And that's usually where I'll spend the majority of my time, because it lights me up. It's where I feel most comfortable. I could give a flying F about Instagram. I am not that type of person. But TikTok is where I feel most comfortable. And I've been very fortunate that I don't have a following coming after me for my fingernails. So
I love that too. And I'm the same way. So many people think TikTok, there's mean people. Honestly, do you know where the meanest person has been to me? Is on Pinterest. Come on. Who gets mean on Pinterest? Like, you're
Right.
making amazing things. How can you be mean on Pinterest? But that's where they're mean to me at. So I feel you on TikTok. I've never really seen anything bad there. So, okay. So you have a free resource for my audience as well. Do you want to tell them about it really quick?
For sure. It is my ultimate business owner's toolbox for Facebook ads. It is a free resource for you. It gives you the 10 rookie mistakes that all that you should be doing instead in ads. They're kind of the everyone makes them. So when you're aware of them, this is how to change. The types of ads you should be running for optimal results, because again, we know that there's a difference between a traffic ad and a conversion ad. And then the 7 metrics you really need to be tracking in your ads. So again, it's one thing to run your ads, but you need to understand what the data is telling you so that you can proceed forward. So this is all bundled up into a wonderful freebie for you, and it will be below.
Yes, we will drop it in the show notes. Okay, if there is one thing, and this can be Facebook ads, this could be whatever, one thing you would like to leave any entrepreneur listening to this podcast, what would it be?
It's something I wish someone told me years ago, is and it's a phrase I take, it's my own phrase, believe it or not, and someone told me about having to share this message, and it's just this: it's stand up and take up space. You are a person, you are an individual. There's no one else on the planet like you, and people need to hear from you. And when you can fully stand up and take up space in the world and show up authentically as yourself, the world changes before your eyes.
That's so good. That's so good. Okay. Thank you so much, Kelly, for bringing all this knowledge to my audience. Make sure you check out the link for her pocket advisor, for her lead magnet that she mentioned, her resource, and make sure you connect with her. Where can they find you at? Where can they find you at on TikTok if they want to follow you there?
You can follow me on all platforms with the handle @Sturtevant.
All right. We'll make sure we drop that in the show notes too. Thank you so much, Kelly. I appreciate you for coming on, dropping all the value, and I'm sure we will have you back on soon.
I had fun. Thanks for having me.
Bye.